For generations of railway workers and families across the Qinghai-Xizang Plateau, waiting for the first train to reach Lhasa took decades. Not because people didn't want it enough, but because building a railway across the plateau was once considered one of the world's greatest engineering challenges, one that some even believed could never be overcome. And yet, the dream never faded. For railway workers like He Zhijun, that dream became the work of a lifetime.
Before, whenever I traveled to other places, people would ask where I was from. I'd proudly tell them I was from Qinghai and that I worked on the Qinghai-Xizang Railway. Then they'd ask me, has the railway reached Lhasa yet? I'd always say, not yet, but we're working on it. They would tell me how much they hoped they could one day take a train to Lhasa. I wished we could already tell them that the railway had reached Lhasa. I'd tell them, one day we'll make it. One day that dream will come true. Some young people would get so excited they jumped for joy. Yes, exactly. And we carried their hopes with us. That feeling stayed with us and kept us going.
July the 1st, 2006, the day finally came.
When the first train passed through Amdo on its way to Lhasa, the whole village came out to watch it. Hundreds of us stood by the railway, waving and shouting, "Welcome, welcome."
On the platform, people were welcoming the train. Inside the cab, someone else was also witnessing history unfold.
As we drove along the route, people stood along the railway waving Hatta scarves. I answered with the train horn. When we finally arrived at Lhasa station, it was already past midnight, but the station was packed with people. Many were performing traditional Tibetan dances and beating drums. I can still picture that scene today. Local people draped Hatta scarves over the locomotive, and it wasn't just that first day. They did it on almost every train during those first few years. Many of them were elderly people. We didn't understand their language, but we understood how much this railway meant to them. It was deeply moving.
The dream had finally come true, and as I listened to their stories, I felt how heavy this dream is.
When I finally arrived in Lhasa, I couldn't hold back my tears. I was overwhelmed with joy. Along the journey, I saw snow-capped mountains, rivers, and Tibetan antelopes through the train window. The scenery was breathtaking. It was a moment of pure happiness.
Today, that excitement has quietly become part of everyday life. But the story didn't end there. As the railway continues to reach farther across the plateau, new stories are still being written.
When
I first came to Jiacha in 2019, the road from Lhasa was narrow and dangerous, with mountains on one side and the Yarlung-Zangbo River on the other. It took about 5 hours, and rocks sometimes fell onto the road. I cried and told my family I didn't want to stay because getting home felt so difficult. My family kept telling me to hold on because the railway was coming soon. When it reached here in 2021, everything changed. Now I can go home much more often. That's right. Traveling was extremely difficult. Most of them hadn't. But since the railway opened, it's common for people from our village to take the train to Shannon or Lhasa to shop. Many leave in the morning and return home the same day.
There's a lyric in a song about the Qinghai-Xizang Railway. From now on, the mountains are no longer so high, and the journey is no longer so long. Before this journey, they were just lyrics to me. Now I truly understand what it means.